Not seen our poet yet. Paul Peter, have you seen Dr. Nancy Lucita?
Good morning, I am.
Of age, she should be able to speak for. Hey, do you still have hair left?
Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much, Dr. Lucita. Good to see you. Please go ahead, introduce Power Monday, and do your thing.
Good morning, everyone. How are you? From County 044. How are you feeling this morning? How is your Monday coming along? It started a long time ago. Monday didn't start now. It started a few hours ago. I hope we are all doing well. We are the Powerhouse. We are the Power Monday. We demystify the fact that Mondays are boring days and they'll never be boring days. We meet every single Monday, except when it's a holiday in Kenya, as from 7:15 to 8:15. We discuss diverse topics regarding personal development, and who knows, you might make your million from this place. We not only meet virtually, we have a meet and greet quarterly, and the last one is culminated with a dinner, of which I know we've all started sewing our dresses and making it a glow. All right, I go direct into today's poem. I have titled it Seasons, as the good book says that there is time and season for everything. To everything beneath the sun, a time is ordained, a work to begin and work to end. Each season moves in the heavens' hands. There is a time to sow, perhaps to sow in tears, a time to plant, you plant with doubts and silent fears. There is a time to trust that the fertile land is going to give through way for the plant to grow. There is a time to love. I know when the harvest comes, there is a time to dance, there is a time to listen from the beating drums, there is a time to be just joyous, there is a time to break, a time to mend, a time when storms have to end. There is a time to mourn. You know, it's not everything that is constant. There is a time to build what was once torn, a time to rise again, because, you know, morning is gonna come after the night. There is a time to keep so tight. There is a time to release and to let go, a time to fight and a time to lay it down. For peace, it's seasons. You know, there is a time when everything is tough. There is a time where stillness needs to take over. We call them seasons. And in these seasons, remain constant because you are a constant. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Lucita. Thank you for reminding us that every season is valued, and the greatest thing of all, every season belongs to God. Thank you for that awakening. I'm going to introduce the speaker, and I would like to welcome CPA Gashoka to do that. Charles Gashoka, go ahead and introduce our speaker for today.
I don't see him in the end. Okay. I haven't seen him, so
Paul, you can go ahead and introduce if Charles is not in.
Okay. Let me look for the intro. Charles was to do it, eh? Okay, good, 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 good. Let me check.
I'm here
So
with
this
it.
is not the first time Kyesubire is speaking in on this platform. We've known her, we've worked with her in different other areas, and Kyesubire Talitwala-Greigg. I told her name is fairly challenging for me. Is a leadership and growth coach, strategist, and storyteller with nearly 3 decades of experience helping businesses and leaders achieve stability, profitability, and sustainable growth. She has worked extensively with MSMEs across Africa, serving in leadership roles such as global president of the SME Founders Association and the mentor stroke lead trainer for the GIZ funded Young Ventures Accelerator, a certified IFC LPI trainer and leadership coach. She challenges professionals to be intentional about their voice and brand, using storytelling to execute strategy, build influence, and grow with purpose. Kyesubire is co-founder of the African MSME Collective and lead storyteller at Akiko Stories. And we are in here for stories, and we'll be very glad to hear them. Welcome, Madam Kyesubire. Sounds like kusubiri, and tumekuwa tukisubiri.
Good morning, OPP.
Good morning, good morning. Good to see your face.
Morning, Antonia.
Good morning, our storyteller. Good to see you.
Oh, good to see you. Good to see everybody. I hope we had a good weekend. All right. So yeah, my name is a bit difficult. My name is Kyesubire, which means hope expected. It's from across, the name is from across the border, but the person is from here. And it is such a pleasure, absolute pleasure to be here this morning. Discussing things I enjoy. So let us just jump into it. Allow me to share my screen. Give me 1 minute. It is going up. There we go. All right. I was given a short time span, and you know those of us who are storytellers, we talk a lot. So I am trusting to be able to cover everything in that time span. But we're doing bridges, not barriers, and we're talking about networking. And networking and networks are so critical to our businesses, but not in the conventional way. So at the African MSME Collective, what we do is we make space for business leaders and indeed corporate leaders to really find who they are and then live with intention. That's why I say I challenge us to use our voices and to use stories to get to where we're going. So when you see a bridge like this, and there's one in Kenya like this, it's called a suspension bridge. What comes to mind? It's a suspension bridge. If you've ever went, it used to be called Rolf's Place in the backside of Rongai, just beyond the Nazarene University. There was a bridge like this. It was, the drop is into a gully. When you see a bridge, a suspension bridge across a gully, what comes to mind? Let me see what we have. All right, please put what comes to mind in the chat. So now I will be asking you to use the chat. So please use the chat. And let's see, when you see a suspension bridge, what comes to mind? Connection, excellent. Any other comments? When you see a suspension bridge, what comes to mind? I need one other response. The book Across the Bridge, there is actually a song. Do you know that song by Jim Reeves? Anyway, there's a song, Way Through Fear of the Unknown.
Yes,
Excellent.
yes, and there was a book also, The Race Across the Bridge, which I read many years back.
Excellent. Discover the other side, fear overcoming. Excellent. Now, many of us get fearful because there is uncertainty in that process of crossing that bridge. I'll never forget, in my event management days, we took a client to one of those venues. Oh my goodness. Then the buses drop you on this side of the bridge and they pick you on the other side. So you have no option but to go that way. And there was a lot of anxiety. Now, for many of us, networking causes extreme anxiety, extreme. And this conversation, I hope, will get us out of there. So think about it. One conversation can absolutely change the trajectory of your business, of your life, of your faith, if you just know how to build that bridge. So one conversation can completely change everything. And the conversation sometimes is not even as deeply profound as you think. Sometimes it's not even an earth-shattering conversation. It's just, you sat together with somebody, shared 1, 2, 1, 2, and then life transformed. So let's continue and we'll see how networking benefits us. So we're saying bridges, not barriers. So a barrier is an obstacle. It stands between us and the other side. It stops us from going. And for many of us on the African continent, we all understand barbed wire. When we're growing up, you could separate the barbed wire like this and pass through. But these days, it is put so much closer so that you don't get through. And in reality, the barrier you may be encountering could be your mindset. It could be your attitude. It could be your capacity to communicate or the lack thereof communication skills. But a barrier limits trust. A barrier restricts access. It keeps me safe in my space and you out. And it works both ways. So keep that in mind. So what is if that is what a barrier is, then a bridge is the connecting pathway that links people, resources, opportunities, lifestyles, belief systems. It brings us together. The Bible is very clear that how can two walk together unless they agree? So a bridge is an enabler. It's a thing hapo katikati that enables the flow of ideas, collaboration. It ensures growth and it keeps us moving. And those are important things that we must keep top of mind. One moment, please. Those are things that we must keep top of mind. Because, like somebody has so aptly said, it is a link. So it is the way we overcome gaps, the way we remove isolation, the way we expand our communities and make it possible to reach our goal. So remember, you are in business, you're in corporate, or wherever you are, to meet a need, to solve a problem, to provide peace of mind and stability to others, but you're not an island. You cannot do it alone. So then the bridge is a location of shared trust and collaboration. So when we are walking and we're talking through life, you hear what I've said, walking and talking. It means I cannot do it alone. I must have enablers and people around me. And that is where networking comes in. It is the intentional process of building and nurturing relationships. Keywords you must remember: intentional, building, nurturing. Intentional, building, and nurturing. Intentional because when I walk into a space, I have a choice. For instance, when OPP called and said, can you come and speak? I'm like, I had the choice to say yes or no. I had a choice. But then when I sit and I look at the value of the network and the relationship I have with OPP, then it is onus is on me to choose to honor the invitation. And by honoring the invitation, I honor the space that has been created. So it's connecting with purpose. It's not that you take every invitation you get. It's that you pick the ones that add value, first to the person on the other side, and then to yourself. And then it is long-term because I'm building trust over time. So it's not just meeting people. It's not just collecting contacts. You know, when we were in our early networking journeys, the more business cards you left an event with, the better for you. But many of us, did we actually turn those business cards or those connections? Did we turn them around? So if those are we've talked about bridges, we've talked about barriers, we've talked about networking. So networking matters because success is built on people. Clients, partners, suppliers, your team, your mentors, your mentees. I think I had the most amazing experience this week when one of my mentees put my name on the table for an opportunity. And she just called and asked, there's this thing coming. Can I put your name in the ring? I didn't have a lot of information, but because I trust her and I understand where she's coming from, I said, okay. So she put my name on the table and we went and we had the conversation later. Because networking is your multiplier. There could be somebody in my contact list that me and you having that conversation will get you to the place you're going faster. So when you think about it like that, it matters because your growth. Now, growth is not just financial. Growth is my goal to read 52 books this year, and by meeting Lucy, who is on the same path, then I'm able to grow, I'm able to reach my goal. That is success, because the books I'm choosing to read are the books that will make me better. All right? It could be that I meet that one supplier who, by simply connecting with them, becomes my capacity to deliver out-of-town events without leaving my house. I'll never forget I had a supplier in the events industry who would move things across the country at my word. We had an event, the LPO hadn't come out. We were doing a setup for 960,000 in 2010. Dude said to me, give me 100 Gs for transport. I'm good. I asked him 100 Gs. He's like, yeah, I'm hiring 2 fighter trucks because of the quantity of stuff we're transporting. And I'm sending 5 people. My 5 people need the fuel. We need to pay for the additional truck we're hiring, and they need a place to stay. I put 100K cash on the table. He left Nairobi. No LPO, nothing. It remained my work to push client for LPO. When I got there, we went to site. I didn't go to site. I said, look, stand in these rocks, look like this. You find the ground. They found the location I was talking about. They found the exact spot I wanted the dome to be put up in. They set up. I went to site on Tuesday. The dome, correct place. Then their team leader, I gave the lay of the land. And he proceeded. And I said, you're my site manager? He's like, cool. I went back to site. The next time I went back to site was on Thursday, 4 p.m. for a 6 p.m. event. And it was exactly as I envisioned it. In fact, it was better. They set me up for success. Then I was a project manager for a small PR firm. How did I meet this guy? One of my technical teams for my own event management firm said, this is a guy you need to work with. So my contact became a critical growth driver, because after that, I rarely went to sites. His people went to site on my behalf. They're like, we've come from such and such, and they would pitch like they're my people. So I grew faster. I didn't have to worry, oh, do I have to cancel a meeting to go to site suddenly? I now had a team. So that is why networking matters. Networking is more than you and me talking. It's how we handle each other. All right? Excuse me. So when we say it like that, it means our connections must be intentional. You don't just connect with anyone for the sake of connecting with anyone. Absolutely. Sorry about that. So we've got some common misconceptions. These are not the only ones, but they're the ones I think are the most critical. Many of us say networking is for extroverts. Now, believe it or not, I am not an extrovert. I may look like one, I may masquerade like one, I'm an ambivert. So I have extrovert tendencies, but they are so limited. By the time I'm done with meeting with people, I need 24 to 48 hours to reconnect with myself. Networking is a skill. It's not a personality trait. Not every extrovert is a good networker, because we look at some of the things we need to do that will show you how some sanguines are just the worst networkers, all right? It is not just about meeting people. It's about building depth and not just breadth. Breadth is this big collection of people you know. If the big collection of people you know are not adding value to you, then what's the point? You're in every networking event, but you're not turning around the connections. and I'll be sharing some of my own personal tips. It's not about how many meetings you go for. Entrepreneurs, it's not about how many trainings you go for. It's about the application of the knowledge and the development of the connections you build. And finally, many of us think networking is about getting, but you must give and get mutual value. So it's not about taking all the time. It's how much can you actually put back into the ecosystem of the other person first before you come and you take for yourself. So if you've done any of these things, if you've assumed this for extroverts and you say, oh, I'm an introvert, I can't network, perish the thought. If you focused on just meeting people and just knowing people, let's make a shift there. And some of the things we can do are coming right up. So our greatest pitfalls about networking in this space is that many times we treat people like a transaction. I've met OPP, tick, I know him. And then I start saying, I know OPP, but I've never answered the call to support his community. Or we talk about the people we know because we want, and this is clout chasing. Many of us clout chase. Yeah, I know Nani. We met in this and this event. Okay, do they know you? All right. And then the next thing we do, because we are transactional, we show up when we need something. Please understand, to get maximum value from your network, you must give first. Because if I'm built on need, I show up for Joanne when I need something from Joanne, not from her. She will understand this girl. All she does is call me when she wants something. She's not interested in me. And what happens is she will deprioritize me. A day will come when I will wonder, why aren't we close anymore? And it will be because my behavior of only showing up when I need something has made her deprioritize me. The other thing many of us do is we say, I'll call you this week. Oh, 2 months later, you've not called. What happens, we have met, and then you call me 2 months later. In fact, it happened to me. I went for an event, and the event mover said, oh, let's talk this week. He called me 9 weeks later, expecting me to have instant recall. I was like, we met. Where? And you are who? And it was a more difficult conversation because he was completely frustrated. I'm like, you said you called me that week. That conversation back. So I began looking for him in my WhatsApp chats. I didn't even save his number then. So what it does, it damages your credibility. If you say you will send me something by 8 a.m. Monday, send it by 8 a.m. Monday. Whether or not I look at it, point is, I can say, oh my goodness, they sent it on time. All right? So when some of the pitfalls, we treat people like transactions. We only shop when we need something. We forget our promises. And then the other thing, we're always overloading or over asking. You're asking for too much too soon. And many of us entrepreneurs looking for funding, this is where things go south. You meet an investor today, or you come into my space today. I went to a conference in April, and I met this young lady. 20 seconds into the conversation, I want money. I'm looking for $250,000. My mind shut. And every other place I met her talking to anybody, I want money. I need money. 250K. Do you know, by the end of the day, none of us were listening to her. None. We'd see her coming, and then we'd all quietly say under our breath, I want money is coming. It was a 2-day conference. What happened? She lost credibility even before she gained it. And that is because she did the next thing. She did not listen. She came into spaces, she talked about her product. She didn't ask. And then one of the funders began asking questions. She was giving half-baked answers. She was missing the things she was being told. She kept being told, take a deep breath and come and understand. So she went up to the lady for World Bank and said, I need money. So later on at lunch, we asked her, do you know that World Bank doesn't give money to individuals? Me, I'll find a way. We're like, World Bank, GIZ, work with governments. So you need to find the programs they're disbursing things through and go there. No, me, I know I can do it differently. So eventually, she turned out to sound inauthentic. All she wanted was money. But when you ask her the question of how will you spend the money? What is your business doing? What's your actual turnover? What's your process, your structure, your strategy, your model? Oh, nothing. So the thing we're left grappling with, because even if I want to refer her to somebody, is will my reputation be diminished based on what she does when she goes to the other side? Because this is the thing. If I refer you to somebody, I am lending you my reputation. You are not going into that room based on the person you know. You are going in because Kyesubire has put in a word for you. So when you go into that space, it must be that you're giving value back to me first. One of my mentors say, when somebody lends you their reputation, pay it back. Pay it back with profit. So when you look at networking like that, it is building the connection so that over time, somebody can put their reputation on the line and lend it to you. I repeat, building the relationship so that over time, somebody can put their reputation in the equation and lend it to you. So if we are asking for too much too soon, we're not listening, we end up being starting on the rear foot. But here's another pitfall: when you don't know your value. Some of us are not struggling with networking because of over asking. Some of us are going into conversations without the clarity of what we bring to the table. Remember, I said you give value first to the other person. So if I don't know what I bring to the table, and I remember some of my early networking conversations, I would stutter and stammer because I wasn't sure what I was bringing to the table. So this means that, and you're not what you bring to the table outside of the product you're selling. When I bring Kyesubire to the table, how does the other person gain? What value can I add back to their lives? Okay. Others of us, we burn bridges. I meet Lucy today. She can't give me the contact I want tomorrow. I'm like, I move on. Then I'm heard talking badly about her. That chick is just inconsequential. Why? Because she didn't give me a lead, but at that point in time, our connection isn't strong enough for her to trust me. Because remember, connections is because we know, like, and trust somebody. So then I start talking badly about her. People in the industry here, and now they know Kyesubire is one you don't touch because she talks badly about people. Let that one sit. Look back at your life and think, how many of these relationships did I actually mess up? I say it didn't work, but I was the cause of that mess. Okay? And last but not least, I think this should be number one. Many of us only focus on high profile people who are very visible. But then there are people I like to call kingmakers who are quiet in the background. You can easily pass them by. They have strong influence in unexpected places. Now, remember I said networking is intentional, which means every space you go into, you must be thinking about, why am I here? Who is in the room? What am I looking for? How can I add value? That is when you'll understand there's some very quiet, understated people who are more connected than the high profile people. They are the people, the power behind the power. I always say in politics, I would rather be a kingmaker than the king, because the kingmaker is more influential. There are people who you don't know who they are until you know who they are. And that is done by observation and by listening. There are people whose mere presence in a room can open hidden doors. And that's what we are looking at. So let's never overlook unassuming people. They just don't look all powerful, but when you have conversations with them, they could probably connect you to some amazing ideas, amazing insights, and then draw you to amazing personal connections. So if this is making sense for you, let me see a YY in the chat that we are together and we can proceed. And then think through it. Let me know which of the pitfalls we've mentioned actually have been something you've either done or you've recovered from. The pitfalls are many. Excellent, fantastic. So let's keep moving. So think through the pitfalls we've mentioned and which one have you ever fallen into and or you have worked your way out of. So quickly, let's look at networking principles. Connect with purpose. There must be a reason why you're connecting. What is your goal in this season? Oh, many of us are stuck on that and of not knowing our value. What is your goal in this season? When you set out into 2025, you set out a goal for the year, right? Who do you need to meet in this year to get you to your goal? What growth are you pursuing? Therefore, what is the path you must take to get to that growth? That's why it says, define your networking goals, pursue aligned events, communities, platforms. Why do I stay in this space of Power Monday? Because there's a lot of learning I do on the Live Your Dream side. I have a couple of certifications I'm working through. So the Live Your Dreams fraternity is important to my personal growth. So if there's an opportunity in here, I will come. Roho safi. Because when I have come and I have expressed a need for something with a certain challenge, the fraternity has responded with kindness to me. The second thing you must always do is be genuinely interested. If you walk into a conversation and there's nothing of interest there, walk away. Politely excuse yourself and leave. But if you're going to stay in the conversation, listen more than you talk. Listen to understand, listen to resolve. But let's not listen to respond, which is what most of us do. If you're a Gen X, you know how we were talked to. As we were talking to the adults, they have the answer before you finish explaining your point. Don't do that to people. Ask questions if you don't understand. And I find this it's so powerful, especially with the younger generation. I spend a lot of time around Gen Zs. And what I've learned to ask is, that made sense because Atieb, explain this thing for me. And as you consistently ask questions, number one, you prove your true interest. Number two, you become a trusted source. So that day something changes, you're the person they call. Some of us may think, what can a Gen Z do for you? They can keep you with it so that when things are going down, going south, you have the 411. But what can they gain for me? Wisdom. One of my Gen Zs came and said to me, of having to manage money. I'm like, it's for the rest of your life. So what have we done? We have now added a component of studying money into our Sunday service. How is this helping me? I know that they can come and they can help me push certain platforms I'm on. But secondly, remember, connect with purpose. One of my agendas is to be a shifter for the next generation. 75% of Africa is under 35. As guys who are over 35, if we go by 10, many of us have 20 years on this earth left. We cannot leave them without skills. So then I'm connecting with purpose and I'm being genuinely interested. The third one is offer value first. When you're building a connection, if I know something and Antonia asks a question she doesn't know, let me be the one to share that information with her. Or we're in a conversation talking like, I heard about a program and I share that. When you give value first, you are remembered as a solution provider, not just a taker, which means that day Antonia meets an opportunity that looks like me, she'll be like, enyewe, Kyesubire helped me. And sometimes it takes a long time. There are clients we've been giving opportunities, networks, connections for 24 months before they passed back out the first opportunity. but the opportunity they have passed back has a 6-month runway of work. And when we ask them why us, they're like, but you're always giving us leads. So you give value first, and then you follow up and stay connected. The first meeting is just, yo, we've met, we've liked each other. Okay? But then how about a simple, thank you, it was so amazing meeting you yesterday. This is my takeout from our conversation. If you see that, me, I'll be flooded. I'll be like, yo, they were actually listening. Because many of us know we're not listened to. You follow up with, further to our conversation, when I read this article, I remembered, boom, 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 link. So then I know that our conversation was not empty, random, aimless. Remember, we're intentionally building relationships that bring value to both of us. So if all your networking to date has been one-sided, that is why it is not working for as long as you need it to work. And finally, leverage multiple platforms. Attend a variety of events. I would rather do all my virtual events, but every month I pick 1 or 2 I can go in person. I also pick conferences, expos, WhatsApp groups, LinkedIn groups. And you know what? If you're in a group and the value is done, say goodbye and leave. Don't stay in places that you are no longer adding value and are no longer adding value, because what if, perchance, there are days we are done with this side of our lives, it is not going on. There are days something still resonates, so you stay. So also use different platforms. What are you looking for? Professional work? You know which platform to go to. Are you in the forum for your industry or your niche? Why not? And then in the niche, don't just join the ones in your local country. Look for a global one and go and jump into that one. All right? Online communities. Allow me to run, because I have seen OPP look at his watch. I know time is running. So how do you turn networks to growth? You become a strategic collaborator. You partner for complementary services. Another example, my first 3 biasharas, finance was my biggest issue. When I started number 5, the first thing I did, I looked for somebody who does finance and I outsourced. I'm like, I'm not doing this thing. What did I do after that? Every time somebody asks me, you do your finances, you're efficient. I'm like, shika a number. This is the number. Call this person. Ati, what do you mean? This is my plug. It is June. You're not stressed about your filing. This is the plug. Call this person. And they would be, yes, I would give her my books June 28th. June 29th, midnight, my returns are filed. I have that, that email from KRA. It's in my inbox. She will come back and tell me of what she will tell me of, but she understands the importance of filing. So to turn a network to growth, do strategic collaboration. Every space, remember you went into the space purpose-driven. So when you meet Susan on the other side, you listen to who she is, what she needs, and then you see where are the connections. Build trust by referrals. If I know somebody will benefit from Power Monday, this should be the thing I put on my status the minute it comes out on Friday. It comes out on Wednesday, I put it up. Why? Because there are people in my community who need it. If the topic speaks to a specific thing that Malaika needs, I saw this, Ingi and Annie. All right? And then be visible consistently. People, consistency pays. There are platforms I was on for 2 years before my voice was understood. Because in life, I've always taken a very interesting road, right? But what are you sharing? You're sharing lessons, you're sharing wins, you're sharing things that people are saying. You are sharing, I saw that Sarah has done this and I think it is worth discussion. Repost it, put your personal thoughts on it, tag her, say thank you. What it does is you build your community. And then Sarah will come and say, oh my goodness, so amazing. 10% of her network will see what you're doing. Right? And just grow and perfect your art, your craft, your line, so that you become the go-to person. 2 to 4 things that you'll be really well known for. And everything you're able to teach can bring you back to that thing and become known as the go-to, which means be patient because it takes time. Be excellent every time you show up. If you're going for a meeting, I had a boss who used to send us places, and she'd send us by mat. And then she said to us, nobody should ever know you showed up by matatu. When you get to a venue, stop number 1, washroom, clean your shoes, dust yourself up, redo your lipstick, and show up as if you came in a luxury vehicles. Like, I'm not giving it to you, but show up like you came like that. And she would throw us into the deep end. What it did for me, whether I'm online, whether I'm offline, I have my red lip, I have my face done, there is a standard she set. Please note, she set this standards during 2003. But there are things I don't do. She like show up with a pen, a good pen that writes. Stop going to meetings and asking for pens. Have a notebook on your desk, have a diary. We fought with her. But you know what? Those things positioned me and got me ahead in life. They were very annoying things. So finally, this is your assignment for the week. I'm a facilitator, I'm a trainer. I always leave assignments. This is the assignment of the week. Pick one of the 3 things. So reconnect with 3 people in your current network. These are people you haven't spoken to for a while. People who you know you are supposed to be in their space and they're supposed to be in your space. So look through your contacts. Most of us have 1,000+ contacts. Reconnect. Let me add one word, meaningfully, with 3. Or join a new community that is aligned to your goals. Remember, we are purpose-driven. So go back to that goal you set for 2025 that is aligned to your 5-year plan, and which community sits in that goal. Find it and join it. And when you join it, do not be passive. Don't bombard too much with flyer, event. Remember, we share for people's benefit before we start doing others. Or offer a valuable introduction to someone. So 3 things: reconnect with 3 people in your current network meaningfully. The word there is meaningfully. Second, join a new community that aligns with your goals, or offer one valuable connection to someone. Because your network is who knows you, trusts you, and believes in what you do. It's not just who you know. It is who knows you, who trusts you, and believes in what you do. They know that if they put June on the table, June will deliver. Because please understand, by the time I put your name in the ring, I have said it before, I am staking my reputation. So I tell my young people, when I give you a recommendation, how could you fungulia mlango? It is my reputation imekubeba hapo. Aya, I've opened the door. Enter, build your reputation. First of all, they will say, hey, you mean this is Kyesubire? Funny story. So there's a gentleman I know online, we're friends on Facebook, and then he comments on my birthday. And then there's some people from church who know me, but are not sure how to connect with me, who is now his brother and his sister-in-law. So the sister-in-law sees the post and comes side, but you know Kyesubire is like, yeah, I've known her for 15 years. Oh, okay. So now this is Big Brother who is giving me credit. Let me tell you, my CV rose that day. Then he comes to me side, but by the way, you know so and so. I'm like, yeah, we go to church with them. Imagine, and he was shocked and knew. I'm like, why? Why do you wamekubeba aje? So then you give value back. The question of him knowing Kyesubire, first of all, gave him rank in his side, gave me rank on my side, and nowadays we're just laughing. We haven't talked much for the last 5 years, but that has been a meaningful reconnection. So the final thought, the right bridge does not take you further. It takes you exactly where you're meant to go. The right connection, the right communication, the right conversation does not take you further. It takes you exactly where you need to go. And when that bridge ends and you need to go further, a road or another bridge will open up, either from within your network or you will build a new bridge. So what kind of networking have you been doing? Has it been kalongolongo, which means it has been games? Has it been purpose-driven? Has it been haphazard? And I'll tell you one thing I do when I go to events. I only go to events that I know will add value. I don't just show up anywhere. So if some of you have wondered why I don't come, one, my schedule is very busy, but two, I'm very strategic. We were doing a 2-day conference in April, and my business partner and I sat down. We looked at the program and we asked, what of these areas are most strategic to us? So we split panel attendance that way. And then he's like, I need you to talk to this person. So I'm like, that panel is like, you go to this panel, you show up and you be valuable. I sulked, of course, but then I went. When I got to the panel, I understood why he sent me there. What do you do? I said, oh, I'm African MSME Collective with Joe. That's why he didn't need to be there. He knows them. What was he doing? He was positioning them to understand I'm not a one-man show and we have value. So that is how we have gone. And that is what is taking us to exactly where we are meant to go. Over to you, Antonia. Please handle the question.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Our speaker for today, Madam Kyesubire, the passion, the mastery, the overwhelming, the smile. I'm telling you, we could not have had anyone better to handle this. And thank you so much. I don't know where time has gone because I just felt like we were just taking off. Thank you so much. And yeah, there is something that you mentioned that is so key to me, and that is intentional networking. Don't just meet people. Make sure that there is something that you need from them and they are taking from you. It is not one way, it's a mutual connection. And like my CEO always puts it, he calls it synergize. And you cannot synergize whereby it is one person benefiting. It should be mutual. Thank you so much. On to our questions. There are some that have been put on the chat session. And I saw one from Dr. Ada. Let me try to get that. Yeah, Dr. Ada is saying, and thank you so much for those who are sending your applause messages. And yeah, Dr. Eda says, good morning, great conversation. What about when you connect with the people? They seem very enthusiastic and they go completely silent. No answering follow-ups, calls. So basically, we stopped. Maybe you can answer to that first.
A bit weird, huh? I'm a little bit weird. I strongly believe I make 3 to 5 tries and then I stop being in your face. But if I know this is a good network that I must build, I will maintain it by occasionally sending you something valuable.
Okay.
Some people are bad communicators, but you will not stop my journey because you're a bad communicator, because I'm strategic. There are people who, when we met, it was fireworks, and then they went quiet. But 3 years later, they showed up again. So remember, you're networking with strategy and intention. So maybe for them, this may not be the right time. So now re-strategize and figure, do I still need them in my network? If the answer is yes, stay close enough, but not in their face. Step back and still stay in their community, stay in the network, share valuable insights. And one day when you have a need, you say, okay, this is what I need. Is it something you can do? Or I'd like your insight on 1, 2, 3. And you nurture it. There's some relationships that must be nurtured over time. But if they are completely silent, let go. Roho safi, no pain, just let go and walk away. And I have found when I've done that, some people have come back.
Mhm.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah, I always think there is just that grace period when you should be following up on people. And like Dr. Ida is saying, if they're not giving the same energy, it's not worth following. Thank you. Thank you so much for that. And maybe I read a comment here from SK Sarah Karingi. I trust you should be knowing her. Sometimes building a reputation is serving others. For example, have you ever given ideas in your community? Like in your estate, you can give ideas or participate in community work. And I trust that's a good one to start from. You don't need, yes, you don't need to start from those big conferences. You don't need to go for the big fish, like you said. Just looking for the high profile people. You can start from where you are. Thank you so much. I don't know, I can give a chance to one person to just talk and ask question before we go to the vote of thanks. Just one person who is ready
There's
just to
something,
speak.
let me touch on something Catherine has said. I joined a community but didn't feel the connection. That happens a lot. Remember, we are doing value focused connections. So don't beat yourself up if you go into a community and you don't feel the connection. Reevaluate whether it's a place you need to stay and live. If it is not, if it is, then ask yourself, how do we build connection? Because if you don't subscribe to their values, then there's no point. It's like asking me to go to the club every Friday. I don't drink. I don't support the lifestyle. So what am I doing there, pressuring myself to go? Is there another community that has the same kind of impact that you would want to be part of? Go and join that one.
Sure. Thank you. Thank you so much. It's just like here on Power Monday. If you join and your work is just to come and bring some politics, you'll definitely be in the wrong platform. So thank you. Thank you so much. Let me call upon Dr. Melvin to give a vote of thanks for the interest of time, and we can have the conversation thereafter. We can continue the conversation thereafter. Dr. Melvin, please.
Daktari, where are you?
Sorry, I was muted. First of all, I want to thank the organizers of this Power Monday for showing up Monday after Monday to give us value. Today, we've had very valuable insights on networking. And you're leaving here with 3 things to do. You know them. You've written them down, right? So the first one is connect somebody with an opportunity or with some information. The other one is to join a group. And the third one is to reach out to 3 people in your network who've gone silent, perhaps. Now, our speaker today is an expert in communication. And little wonder, because she went to Daystar University. Those of you who didn't go to Daystar University, you can kick yourself in the leg right now. She went to Daystar University. But more than that, she has a vast array of experience. Okay? She's been through the hills and the valleys of entrepreneurship, of communication, and of strategy. So if you want a role model in those 3 areas, you've got one in our speaker. Kyesubire, I've known her for a long time, and we've been in fora where I've seen her networking skills at play. She's been on the world stage. She's been online in several meetings, which are international in nature, and she's brought a new twist to networking. You're leaving with valuable lessons, you're leaving with a contact. I would like to request her to put her number in the chat so that you can reach out to her. Maybe she can connect you with your next big break. And while she's connecting you to your next big break, remember that we also must give back to Kyesubire. So be ready to give her a break as well. She's into big things now, but who knows? Somebody in your network could give her something bigger. So thank you so much, Kyesubire, for being here today, for showing up, for having your signature great attire, right? And I don't know whether you're wearing earrings, because she always has earrings which match with her necklace. So if you're taking any message away from today, show up smart. Thank you, Kyesubire. Back to you, Antonia Mtu.
Thank you so much, Dr. Melvin. And I like that. If you notice those small details, you are you are exceptional as a, as a gentleman. Earrings and necklace, which match? That is on another level. Thank you so much, and it's always a pleasure just to have you here. Let me have some admin and some announcements. Maybe to remind us that we are having an upcoming dinner for Power Monday. This is the way we're going to close our year with a style. And we are planning for great things. This one is going to be a great gathering in the evening, and you better subscribe. We've been given the details for our subscription on the chat session. Kindly, you can screenshot, you can copy them down to make sure that you are registered. We said this time we are going to do the registration early in advance, because as you can see, even our host is more serious. We're going to a serious place. So it's just good to have some pre-planned order, like the way our speaker today has told us. We have to be intentional. So if we want to deliver excellence, then we must plan early enough. So let's put our names down, just do the registration even as we plan for the payment. And maybe Paul Peter, you can repost it, because I can see a lot of chats have come after you had posted it earlier.
And it's good to note that some people have actually started committing and paying. Yeah, so
Great.
it's going to be a fantastic thing. And just to mention that some people are talking about Rotary. I belong to Rotary, so I probably know more about Rotary than many people, because I've been there for close to 10 years. We always recommend that you visit many clubs and find where your one can rhyme with your culture, because every club is different. Again, and I can see lots of Rotarians here. Melvin has spoken in our club, and it was a lovely one. So a great one. Networking is a skill, and I've seen also the queen of networking here, Sarah Karingi. I think she ever spoke on this forum at some point. So good to see all of you. I'm posting again. We are going to have this dinner. It's going to be a lovely one, better than last year. And you better do subscribe. We expect a beautiful evening with great networking experience. Thank you.
Thank you so much, our chair. And we would like to get into the meeting after the meeting.